What's up, world? What's up, Zion? It's Prince Easy coming at you again once more, as per usual. And well, I do have a couple slides that I want to share with you today in this fine day that we're having, right? And of course, before we get to those, I want to issue a copyright disclaimer, right, for the material that is going to be shared here in this here video, right? So yeah, let's get to it. Well, this is one way to brew a diplomatic situation. There was a whole talk about military aircrafts and permissions, and well, what is more concerning to me is what is above there. What is that about? We're gonna find out. Yeah, video games are going to hell, basically, because of not just women, but modern women who even sometimes call themselves progressives, right? Women who want to be men so bad that yeah, it's a disaster, basically. So, like we said many times, the African struggle, understanding the African struggle, is understanding the beast itself. So this genius here apparently is the cause of most of the nonsense that has been happening, right? So of course, educated, Catholic. Let's look at academic background. Thesis: African Virginia extended kin. The prevalence of West African family forms among slaves in Virginia, 1740 to 1870. Integralism, Catholic personalism. Main interests: African American history. They figured my guy that went to school on how to properly disable a struggle. Right? The resilience needed to be studied. But I don't think there's any good that's gonna come out of this, like any lessons learned, so to speak. There won't be none. Interesting, right? Hey, Esau, is this another way you reclaim your birthright using Kabbalah, witchcraft, and subversion? Because remember last time we talked about the red bracelet. Here is the other, so you can understand, right, the animosity, Esau and Jacob. So in other terms, jealousy, right? Jealousy and vows of killing and all of that. Hence the fight against God himself. Yeah, these are just great ideas from Bahrain. Well, look at that, right? It's not the issue of no, you cannot beat them, join them. No, if you cannot beat them, then just make them illegal. Right? I don't know what do they expect to come out of this, but hey, to each their own. Well, Bloomberg is out here projecting as per usual, as per the program, right? Just in one way or the other, confessing their crimes, you know, just like they have many times. So this was also happening. So they're back with their, this was a threat, right? This was a threat. They're back to their old tactics, right? And they have bots on it, right? Basically to spread the good news, right? Maybe an intervention, right, in our country to save the persecuted Christians by this regime. Right? So, like they said the last time, they need to review our relationship, right? And that's like a diplomatic, I don't know, dog whistle or something, right? In a couple weeks now, I think, there was this genius, right, that came out in this here public and basically suggested that Mount Kilimanjaro, right, the tallest mountain in Africa, be named Mount Trump, right? As again, like I said, the worship is embarrassing, right? As if calling him daddy wasn't enough, but you know. Maybe it's their father, I don't know. Okay. Wow. So what was this propaganda about, right? The Muslims, right, who were apparently under deep surveillance by the Chinese government. It turns out that apparently the US was helping with this constant surveillance. Right? The jokes almost write themselves, you know, at this point, you know. So, they're back at it, looking to go after Putin again. What could they do, right? Rather than have discussions about coup plots and basically murdering the president. That's what they have, these geniuses, you know. What else is there? Capitulation? Nah. To the last Ukrainian, they say. A scuffle unfolding. We are gonna see what is gonna happen on the 9th. Right? Because apparently Russia and Zelensky, they all have like different I don't know, dates to begin the ceasefire. So Hunter making the waves, and for you who don't know, COVID is still much alive, and they have new strains out here. Well, I'm gonna sit here and wait until people wake up to the realization that none of this is organic, none of this is natural. Until then, Fauci. That's what that's what we have. Right? There was a strange documentary I was watching talking about Fauci and how HIV made him popular, right? And what the narrative was about HIV back then, right? They had to switch the narrative, right? They couldn't not support the homosexuals, right? That is spiritual stuff right there, for them at least, right? But hey, here we are with the human-to-human transmission. So, more remarks were made, right? Why are they having discussions about us again? Well, the impact, is it real or not? That's the question that needs to be addressed. And if the impact is real, then we should not be delusional about our defense and the protecting of our interests as a nation. So, the Zulu march on their fellow Africans and stuff. I heard Ramaphosa eventually came out and said something. Again, trying to sow discourse like they've always been doing. And why are they sitting and talking about this now at this particular time, trying to put Tanzania on the crosshairs? Well, it's simple really. It's about the refinery, right? And the America's dream to be the world exporter, right? All the wealth and people should flow to them. Again, jealousy and stuff. This is what drives them, right? So this side, they say there's some sort of discourse or something. At the same time, he's invited into our parliament. So again, you believe what you want to believe. At the end of the day, this is the world narratives, right? And everybody is free to share their narratives, false or true. But what is evident is that the struggle is real, right? Especially with these guys here, right? And their Christian nationalism stuff. So, this came out, and does this smell like or spell the ending of the war? I don't know. You decide, right? You decide for your own. Right? They're mad. Okay? They're mad. Now is to have an army. To have an army under our control, not a third party. No. And this invading of each other's countries will cease, because everybody's security will be guaranteed. Again, we should not let them control the battlefield. Right? I think we have had a conversation about this a long time ago. Right? At that particular time, I was talking about Russia and what the EU is doing and the Americans are doing. Right? They are controlling the escalation, keeping Russia in a reciprocation mode, if for lack of better words, right? Yeah, they are. The storylines are obvious, right? Especially in the first-person shooters. The villains are always Slavic or Asians. Always. And of course the allies are the usual suspects. Okay, so there is a lot of control being exerted over humanity, and the intelligence community is a pillar in this structure of control that we are fighting against. Intelligence is one of the pillars, important pillars, right? So we have the intelligence, we have the arms manufacturing, we have the energy, and of course we have the energy in itself, resources, right? Minerals and such. Right? And all of these, on top of that, of course, we have the finance, right? I'd rather not say banking, but finance in general, right? How it is operated, the dictations, the conditions that are given so as you can, I don't know, receive a loan, for instance. It's disturbing, and it's happening everywhere. So, sir, we are not foolish. We are not foolish. We try to be diplomatic, but again, listening to your words, you are still pointing out to the fact that they are illegitimate. That's the sentiment that is held. In Nigeria, it's the same, right? The Minister of Defense now, back then was the Army Chief, I think. No respect for the leaders of another country. Why? Because they were not elected or voted in. You continue lying to yourself. Right? Continue lying to yourself. In Algeria, we are always watching you. We know who exactly you are. You have no appreciation for Mali and what the Malians did so as to get your so-called independence. They shed blood in your country, but you have no respect. You are a visitor there. Scratch that. You are an invader into our lands, and you're still trying to encroach more lands and going into bed with these terrorists. Right? And we have on this other side these idiotic Europeans giving interviews to terrorists. You know, giving interview to terrorists, you know, giving them airtime, you know, they're not even giving echo, right? If you give the terrorists, then maybe you give the Malian government a chance. And at the end of the day, whatever they are doing cannot be justified by I don't know, you calling them to your media houses and stuff, right? Le Monde, I think, is one who was banned. Information warfare, like, right? One day. So this is happening, apparently. This is also happening. Just simultaneously. This is also happening. Like I say, a lot of noise, huh? A lot of noise, a lot of distractions from what we should be focusing on. And what actually our problem is, or are. Trump is still trying to fool everybody with, I don't know, I'm waiting for the proposal and stuff, responses and stuff. Well, at least now Nigeria is starting to have honest conversation, because let's not kid ourselves. What is unfolding in Nigeria is a security failure. The security apparatus is complicit or crippled in one way or the other, and I don't believe it is crippled in any way. So what that leaves complicity. Why? I don't know, but the vibe exists, the sentiment exists for others observing, even the people from the inside, right? These kidnappings and stuff. So as they send a worship, this minister here is saying they are waiting for calm. No, you cannot be waiting for calm while waging a storm. Like, really? This is confusing. But it's not really that confusing, right? They want to be like mysterious and stuff, right? So as you cannot know our plan or what we are going to do next, right? You cannot know our next move. Like what they're going to do is, I don't know, something new. Wow, now they are probing. After apparently people done made 2.6 billion. And they're calling it suspicious timing. Okay. Well, this guy with his 6-pointed star, apparently he got caught doing weird stuff. You remember this guy? We covered him a long time ago. Last year, I can't even remember at this point. Right? He was basically calling himself you can find yourself what he's been talking about. Do a little bit of legwork. So yeah, that is what I have seen, and that's what I decided to show you, and you can extrapolate yourself what is gonna come next, or what is coming in the horizon. So yeah, I'm gonna put a pin on it right there. And of course, we are gonna have a conversation. The next time we have a conversation, I'm gonna put a pin on it right here. Prince Easy signing out. Love you. Bye.